Hi there folks, I'm Bryce Holdaway, he's Ben Kingsley, and we are the co-hosts of Australia's #1 property podcast, The Property Couch, which brings you the insider's guide to property investing. And today we want to talk about a topic where most people who are looking to buy a property, whether they're in the market today or they've just recently bought a property, they would have gone through this particular decision quadrant. And it's important to understand it because at some point we're going to have to compromise, probably in one or a number of these sections.
We are, Bryce. It's basically for not only investors but for owner-occupiers alike. We're sort of conditioned in the way in which we look for property. You know, the only place we can potentially find the properties is on these search portals, and they condition us to look for the location first, and then we start looking for the property. So we want to sort of get into the headspace of the way in which people look at property and help you understand the decisions that you're making and why you make them.
Very good, Ben. In my experience as a buyer's agent helping people buy property all over this country, I usually find that the #1 section of the quadrant where they're least able to compromise is on price or budget, and for obvious reasons. So Ben, what are the actual quadrant sections?
Yeah, look, let's unpack the four of them. So we've got budget, or how much we can spend, the location that we're looking at, then the sort of bang for the buck we get in terms of land size and the type of property, and then it's the quality of the property in terms of, are we willing to sacrifice, do we want it fully made up, or do we basically want to renovate as delight?
So let's have a look at that. If I've got a budget that's fixed, let's say it's $600,000, and I'm pretty firm on the location that I want to be in, it leaves us with a compromise, Ben. Do we actually have more or less land? And if we want more land, it usually means we have more or less house.
Correct. And if we want to do that, or we're going to have to go wider. So, you know, if we really are fixed on location and we're within budget, we are going to make a sort of call on whether we're going to have a big backyard for the swings for the kids, or whether we're going to have a townhouse or even an apartment.
Yeah, so it's important that a lot of people are actually not prepared to compromise. Well, location, they're the three key words that we always hear about real estate. And if location and budget are the two that have got the least flex in them, what we are finding is that people, particularly in an owner-occupier space, are deciding, well, if I want to stay in close to my lifestyle drivers and I don't want to live in an old shack, it means that that's why townhouses and in some cases a lot of apartments are becoming more popular for that compromising reason.
That's right, and here on Melbourne Property TV, we're actually going to see that transition happen where there'll be more and more people who will actually stay closer to employment and those lifestyle drivers, and so they may actually decide to go for a smaller dwelling to be able to be, you know, because the budget, let's face it, Melbourne property prices are very strong at the moment. So from that point of view, they're going to have to play with their budget. Otherwise, they're going to push out on a location point of view.
Very good point. And the important thing about location is there's a couple of things going on. Well, there's three things: human interest, human behaviour, and economic activity. And so the last one is essentially someone's got to pay the bills. Where are they going to go and get their job? How are they going to earn an income? So that location, what proximity does it have to a major employment centre? But the other two largely around when I'm not working, what am I going to do with my time? Is there a park nearby? Can I get my smashed avocado with my decaf latte on a Saturday morning? I can walk the dog to the nearest park. It's all about these human interests, Ben. But what is it about human behaviour that sort of is a bit of a struggle when it comes to the quadrant?
Yeah, sort of. So unconsciously, we have sort of views on different locations. So there are areas that we put in a high status, you know, high desirable locations, and we have other sort of opinions on the brands of more, you know, sort of run-down locations or poorer locations that we think that aren't desirable to live in. So there is this, you know, bias that we have in our system to sort of determine the areas that we want to live in, and then we try and wriggle our budget and trying to see what bang for our buck we get when we buy there.
So there's a fair bit going on, folks, when it comes to location, human interest, human behaviour, economic activity, and we're also going to be looking at price, location, size of the land, quality of the dwelling. So if you want to find out a bit more about this, why not check out the episode 19 on The Property Couch, thepropertycouch.com.au, where we go into this in extraordinary length.
Yeah, we've only just touched the tip of the iceberg here, so there's a lot more to understand it, and then there's the practical reasons why you do things as well. So lots more gold if you actually start listening.
Lots more gold, and we'll unpack that. So go to thepropertycouch.com.au, and whilst you are there, why don't you download the free Money Smarts checklist, which will help you better manage your money so that you've got more surplus to trap and invest at the end of the day. So why don't you check it out, Ben?
Yeah, and look, if you're familiar with podcasts, go straight to the iTunes store and subscribe now as well. We're live on that and also on your Android device as well. So lots of ways in which you can get our content.
We help Apple people and we help Android
others.
people as well. So there you go, folks, thepropertycouch.com.au.